One of the programs that you've really been spearheading is, or initiatives, is the virtual STEM university. So STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math. And that is a very exciting program, and one that I'm actually very privileged to be involved with you in moving forward. I think it's a critical skill set. I think there's no question that we need students and also not only young people, but our current workforce possessing skills, technology skills that, again, are important for 21st century jobs. And at the same time, we can't count on the existing educational structure in the classroom to deliver those skills to the number of people that need those skills at the pace that those skills and expertise and the need to have those skills is changing and evolving. So the Virtual STEM University is a very exciting and I think powerful initiative that, again, as you've described it, is very open. It's about enabling anyone to plug in to this virtual university and gain skills in engineering, science, technology, and math. And it's inclusive. So there are a number of different initiatives that are underway all over the country and the world. And this is really embracing the best ideas and the best work that's going on in teaching STEM skills. But I'd love to hear more of your thoughts about the Virtual STEM University and where we can take this.
Well, I think the Virtual STEM University is a good concept, and it's a good practical concept where we are trying to bring a number of key characteristics of an open learning ecosystem. First, we don't want to have any difference in terms of how teaching is done. We want to really concentrate on learning. Yes. Because in the traditional model, teaching was, one analogy is like taking your car to a gas station. It's empty, you fill it up with gas. The whole thought was that when somebody comes to school, it's like an empty mind and you fill it with new ideas. But education is taking an empty mind, taking a mind and really create that level of creativity, level of inquisitiveness, the whole idea of linking things together. So educational system really transforms any empty mind to an open mind. Yes. Open to creativity, open to new ideas. So that's the first element that we move from teaching to learning, where the faculty member is a coach in helping the students find their way. And then also a model that students can work in their own pace. Some students in a traditional classroom, some students get bored, and some students are not with it, and there is a smaller group of students that can really follow. So the pace has to shift based on the need of the student. The third element is having many educational providers. Today, if you look at the speed and the pace that knowledge is being created, it cannot only be that new knowledge is not only created in universities and research labs. We should look at all of our national research labs and laboratories. We should look at corporations. We should look at libraries, public broadcasting, museums, zoos, many other places. They are all content providers. The third element is really looking at taking away the barriers between formal education and informal education, knowing that learning happens everywhere. The fourth element is using technology in a very strategic and very transparent way. And as you mentioned earlier, in a very transformative way. So it's not using technology to mimic our traditional methodologies. And then finally, having every student have their own electronic portfolio that throughout their career, wherever they get a knowledge base, that comes with them. And the learning is not based on the number of seat hours or seat time, but basically a competency-based model. So I think that really is an approach that we can really make learning to become social, contextual, in a very transformative way. So that really is the basic of the open learning ecosystem that we're very excited on.
Very interesting, and one of the elements of this that is particularly exciting to me is this idea of personalized education. The fact that not everybody learns at the same pace. Yes. And that these topics are hard for some and easy for some, and people learn in different ways. So being able to actually have a self-paced method to learning is, I think, very powerful. Being able to assess one's own progress and actually draw from a number of different resources all over the world and different experts is also very powerful. And then the idea of having your digital sort of record of what you've learned and new skills you've acquired is very empowering,
I think so.
Actually, because it's no longer someone else's responsibility to educate me. When students feel that they have the ability to control their destiny, I think they're much more open to learning, much more receptive to new ideas.
Well, you're absolutely right that in the traditional models, most of our models are institutional centric.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at universities, if you look at hospitals, if you look at many other services that we get, how we can really make universities to become more student-centric. Our whole education system has to be to see how they can meet the needs of that student, to see how we can really help that student to be successful. Some students based on the way that they learn or how fast that they learn or whether to the degree that they are visual, auditory, kinesthetics, all of these factors would play a role. Also, the other part, one of the other skills that our educational system need to bring is students needing to work in teams.
Yes.
And that teamwork is going to be so important. We have been so much concentrating on individual capability, individual learning. I think that's important. Unfortunately, the traditional thought process has been that if you're having groups work together, then basically one person is going to be doing the work and the others are going to be dragged with it. I think in the new models of having strong learning teams, as industry does most of their work, this is what students are going to see. So being able to work in teams and able to foster team learning, it's going to be a very strong skill, and recognizing that many of these teams that students are going to be part of would span across many continents, across many time zones, and across many cultures. So this is also going to be a very important skills that students need to have, in addition to a number of other skills such as strong communication skills, both in writing as well as reading, strong critical thinking skills, a strong ethical and civic compass, and the global perspective. So I think all of these ideas wrapped around with the strong technological knowledge base of science, technology, engineering, and math is what's required of the workers of the 21st century.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought up the topic of working in teams, because I can tell you as an executive here in Silicon Valley, starting companies and hiring employees, I'm looking for people who not only have the basic skills for the job, but probably almost more importantly in some cases, can work with others on a team to solve a problem, can look at a complex challenge and be able to piece their way through it or weave their way through it as a team to find a solution. And this is the way that we're going to solve problems, frankly, in the 21st century. We can't be isolated expecting to find solutions to problems of the kind of scale that we face today.
And that basically is the same model that we have embodied in the open learning ecosystem, where we're looking for many providers to be part of the solution. We want to do it in such a way that the system will have the flexibility. The different providers could be part of it, especially the industry and educational system. And everybody can really move on their own pace. But most importantly, we can really make education to be fun, to be excitement, to be and where students would really enjoy the joy of discovery,